Hey, in case you've ever wondered, why do the airsoft blowback guns cost more than the Crosman style BB guns? And if you've ever asked yourself that question, I'm here to answer it for you today. All right, so one of the main reasons why is because the Crosman style BB gun, which has a good FPS. I think it's like 400 FPS or whatever, and shoots .177 BBs, is a toy. Yeah, it's a plastic. Everything on here is plastic. Plastic lower, plastic upper. Looks great. You know, I think the only metal one here is the barrel shroud there. And other than that, everything on this gun is plastic. And it's not even a quality plastic. It's it's strong and it feels sturdy, but it's still some sort of toyish kind of plastic. I wouldn't call it like a polymer or anything like that. But then it doesn't have to be because this is a toy. And the reason why it's costs less than the gas blowbacks, if you have a quality gas blowback, it's because of the quality of the gun. Now, this gun has a sluggish, heavy trigger. I mean, this thing, you got to pull it, and it feels like you got to pull it through twice or something, you know? Let me see if I can charge this, and I'm going to go ahead and pull that trigger for you. I don't know if you'll be able to see what's going on there, but look at that heavy, hard, long, sluggish pull on that trigger. Nothing like it would be on a actual AR-15. Absolutely nothing like it. It's very unpleasant that you have to pull so hard to get the trigger to release. Anyway, let's take a look at the inside. Give me a second because I'm holding the phone and I just decided to make this video and I didn't get my camera stand or anything, so give me a second here. Okay. As I mentioned, this has a very good FPS. I think it's like 400 or so. So, shooting a metal BB at 400 FPS is pretty good. But as you look at the firing group there, nothing like you would see in an actual AR-15 or an M4 or any firearm. It's just a system that they use for the CO2 or whatever. I don't know much about that, how these triggers are built and, but you can see that it's nothing like you would see in an actual AR-15. The buffer is a kind of a weird thing. It's not an actual buffer. It's some kind of weird thing that they have in there. And I'll pop it out for you. Give me a second. Okay, it's like some little weird head that goes on. It has a spring attached to it. You can see that inner spring. I get a better focus here. Give me the focus. Okay, I don't know what's going on with the focus here. But anyway, as you can see, that's kind of like a half of what a buffer would look like with a spring attached to it. And it weighs literally nothing. And it has this really light spring inside of there. And as for the bolt, it is a fake mock-up of some sort of, you can see there's nothing underneath there. This is the actual weight right here that transfers into the buffer spring, and you see there's a cutoff there, and it's mocked to look, like it's a real bolt from, excuse me, a real BCG from that angle there, but it's nothing like a real BCG. So we will put that back in where it belongs in this Crosman. Okay, got that back in. So as you can see here with the Crosmans, you have a plastic thing that looks like an AR-15. and that's why they are as inexpensive as they are. And I don't know if you can kill a varmint with it. I've never tried. I think maybe perhaps a squirrel, at close range. And parts fall off of it. So you see that bolt? That bolt fell right out of there, because it's not secured in any kind of way. It just sits there, and it's held in place when it's locked in place. Now, is this gun fun to shoot? Hell yeah. I mean, it's got, again, a high FPS, and, it's fun where that's concerned, Now, I can't think of any other thing that I would say about this Crosman that makes it equal to or close to, in any kind of way, a gas blowback airsoft gun. This is not a training gun here. This is just something that you would like to plink with in your backyard, and that's about it. I wouldn't call it a training gun. You probably could, if you wanted to, but you wouldn't like it because of the trigger, and the way that it functions. I like things that mimic the real thing, and I want it to be as close as real as it gets, because if I'm actually using any of my actual AR-15s, I don't want to feel too much of a difference, in what I'm transferring to. So now let's take a look at the gas blowback. Okay, so here we are with the gas blowback. Now, what makes this thing so special? Well, first of all, it's a CNC machined aluminum lower, CNC machined aluminum upper. Everything on this gun is a metal of some sort, other than the flash hider there, the angle foregrip, and of course the buttstock. But everything else is a CNC machined metal. It is heavy, what you would expect for an HK 416D. And now I don't actually have a 416D, but I was recently in a gun shop and I picked one up, and the weight is about the same if it's loaded. If you have a loaded magazine, I say the weight is pretty much equal. So, that's another great benefit. You got CNC machine metal, upper and lower. You got the weight. You got a tremendously wonderful trigger. I mean, it just feels the same. I don't have a meter to measure the pool on there, but the weight of the pool, but it is a very good trigger. When I transfer from shooting this gun to shooting my actual AR-15, it feels the same. So we're going to take a look at the internals and see why that is. Okay, first of all, take a look at that hammer. You can see the hammer, you can see the hammer spring. That's what you'd expect to see when you open up an M4 styled or AR-15 type of rifle. I'm having a lot of luck with camera focus today. I don't know why. Okay, there you go. You can see those springs. This trigger installs the same way that you would install a trigger in your AR-15. Now, the springs are a whole lot lighter, of course, but everything installs the same way. Now, this would be a trigger that you would find at a full automatic rifle, and if you give me another second while I, show you that. Okay, you see that hook there that grabs the sear, and see down in there, that's what you would expect to see. Now, of course, these do fire differently because the firing pin is not struck by the upper portion of the hammer in a gas blowback. The firing pin for these is actually down here, and the hammer strikes and hits the nozzle on the back of the magazine. You see that? Let me get that in there. See that nozzle? There's a nozzle inside that slot there that strikes that, and that's what gives you the gas release. Okay. Let's take a look at the bolt carrier grip. All right, nice, solid, full, complete, one piece, no parts falling out. looks exactly like the bolt that you would see in an HK416D. Of course, on the front there, the cam is a mock-up cam, but and you can see the nozzles for the air nozzle right there, and that comes forward, kind of mimics like what would happen with an actual bolt. This is all metal, okay, has forward assist grooves on there, and it does actually function. So this again is more authentic and accurate to what you would find in an M4 based rifle. Okay, and also not to mention, this has all the markings that you would find on an HK 416D, keeping it very authentic, serial numbers, everything. So that's why these are so much better in build quality than the Crosman style BB guns. Now, this of course isn't going to kill anything, and it's not meant to. This is a training rifle. It simulates the actual firearm in every way, and it is something that you can use at home. That's what I do, out in the yard or whatever. When you're not at the range, you don't want to throw a whole bunch of rounds downrange. You can just play around with it, and it's a great training tool, and it keeps you acclimated to the actual gun that you're using. So when you're considering a gun like that and a gun like this, the reason why this costs so much more is because of the quality of the build, because it is manufactured in a way that is almost identical to the actual firearm. Okay, in every way. And you can see the HK there on the BCG. And these are great, fun guns. So again, if you've ever wondered why these airsoft guns cost more than these BB guns, these CO2 version BB guns, that's why. Because these are quality manufactured products. Those are, some kind of mass-produced plastic, toy that they put together and threw a CO2 capability into it. And it's not fun or practical for training, in my opinion, where the airsoft versions are just a complete blast, and you sometimes forget you're carrying an airsoft gun. That's how real it is. So you might be wondering about the cost of this gun. Well, I got this one in Hong Kong, and I think I paid $469 for it. And you're like, $469? My goodness. Well, it's a quality build. I mean, it's almost as much as an actual gun. And, but it's every bit worth it. Every bit worth it, in my opinion. Maybe not to you, but certainly to me. And with the shipping, I think it was $125 because I used the expedited from Hong Kong. So there you go. You can see how much I put into this. Now this was like $199, and I think it should have been about $150. The Crosman DPMS, I think it should have been about $150. That's where I think this goes. But with inflation and all that, and I've had this for a while. As a matter of fact, I've had this for about 3 years, and I paid $199 when I got this. So I think I overpaid. But with this, I feel like I paid the adequate amount, and I'm happy with every dollar spent on this. And it is just the most fun training gun. It does not have as fast of a rate of fire as the DPMS does, but it fires more at a rate that you would expect from an actual AR-15. And, I like that because the Crosman fires like, like it's a ray gun or something, And, but this rate of fire is more like a realistic, rate of fire that you would expect. And these have great recoil too. I mean, for management. I'm not saying it's a heavy recoil gun. What I'm saying is that the recoil that you feel out of this is very similar to the recoil that you feel if you're shooting 223 or 5.56 out of your AR-15. So these are great. They're expensive, but they're worth every penny. These are cool, and I don't use it that much. But anyway, if you've wondered, there's the answer. That's why the gas blowbacks cost more than the DPMS CO2 versions. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video, and please like, subscribe if you care to see more of my channel, and you guys have a great day.